This is Elvira from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to show you another idea I have in order to create the easel for your gift calendar for this year. Earlier in my blog, I showed you how to create an easel, and I created this easel that folds up, and that way you can ship it like this. But then I got thinking, even though you can kind of put it flat, or even you can even fold it up like that and ship it, it still, to me, it was just still a little too bulky, as you can see. So then I decided maybe it would be better to do an easel, make an easel that when it's folded, it will fold completely flat. And then when I want to stand it up, when I want my easel to stand up, I just basically just do this. So I'll attach it here, and then this will be open, and I just need some magnetic or Velcro closure to close it like so when I need it up. And then, but when I want to ship it, I can just easily ship it like this. And I can even ship it closed, and then you can open it up. So then that got me thinking, and I created this one. And this one, actually, this one was a little big, and the reason I made it big is that way I can, if I next year a bigger calendar, then it will fit in on my easel. But then I decided, you know, I just want to make one to fit exactly my calendar, so I made it 8 by 8, and then this is 2.5 by 8. And same here, 2.5 by 8. I did the same principle of the binding here. I took 2 pieces of cardstock, so I took the 8 by 8, and then I put the 2.5 by 8. I butted it up against each other like this. I left a little gap in between, and then I took some of my tape. Let me open. I took some of this real strong adhesive. So I took some of my tape, and I laid my first piece down, and then I left like a 1/4 inch gap, so that way I can bend it. If you put it too close when you bend it, it's just not going to bend well. So I left like a 1/4 inch gap in between, and then did that, so that way when I bend it, it bends a lot easier. As you can see there, if I don't leave that gap and I put it right against it and I try to bend it, it doesn't bend as well. So always leave like a little gap, like a 1/4 inch gap or 1/8 of an inch gap, and that way, see how nice it'll bend if you just leave that gap. And then you take another piece, and then just put it on the other side like that, and really put it together, and see how it kind of has a nice little bend, and I can leave it flat or bend it over. So that's how you do the binding for the bottom piece right here that I created. So the next thing, you're gonna also need some magnetic tape, which is what I have here. So let me show you real quick the calendar and the product that I use. This is something that I bought a long time ago when QVC used to sell, or actually this is HSN, when HSN, the Home Shopping Network, sold some craft items. This is like 3 years ago that I bought this, and it was a calendar. So you get a calendar, plus you get a bunch of pages. So you got all these pages, and you can even see that the designs are a little outdated, but they're still they're still nice. So I decided, because I'm gonna use my old scraps and my old supplies, so I decided, let me pull this out and use it this year, because I just like the paper so much, and I like the idea, that I really didn't want to break into it. But I decided it's time to break into it and give it away. And then, I got these. It came with extra cardstock that you can cut with the days of the week. I mean the months, and that way you can create multiple calendars. And then it came with borders that you can use for borders for your calendars. And then it came with regular cardstock. And see how all these are all the cardstock it came with. And then, not only did it do that, it came with that, it also came with stickers. So you can use for your album. So, I mean, it was a pretty good deal. It also came with the number stickers that you can put on a calendar, and it came with 4 calendars with the spine already. I used the calendars up. I just didn't use the paper. So then I decided this year I'm going to use the paper. So, and I don't know why I used the calendar up and didn't use the paper, but I did that. So then this is the calendar that I came up with using everything this was very simple. Everything was already pre-done for me. I just mainly cut it and placed it, put it in place. And then what I did is all these mats had like a design, so I kind of lifted up. I cut through the design so that way I can easily insert a picture in there and you still could see the design. So I did that in all my pages. This one I did the same thing. I kind of lifted it up, and that way I can go ahead and place a picture underneath. Same as this. This is the same. Everything here is the same principle. I just went around with my X-Acto knife and kind of cut it open so that way I can slit a photo underneath. Here's the other one. And they're very cute. And then this one, I didn't do that. I just cut this piece off. But I really didn't do that, so I didn't want to do that technique to that. But everything else has that technique of cutting into the mat in order to be able to insert your picture. And this one I even cut into the paper in order to be able to insert my titles over my pencils. And then I cut into the paper here and I inserted my calendar. And see, that's what you can do when you buy these kind of papers or design that sometimes have little designs on it like this. And if you put a picture, it'll cover your design. We'll cut around it. And that way you can still see the design. And it actually will give it a little more dimension. And this is the last one. And I did the same thing. I want to put a picture in between here. Okay. So let's go ahead and start on the binding. So I'm going to take my first one. And remember, this is 8 by 8. From here to here is 8 by 8. And then this is 2.5 by 8. So I cut all my papers accordingly. So I'm going to use this brown paper. And I'm going to place it and I'm going to decoupage it onto this cardstock. So you create your own decoupage medium by using glue and water. And actually this needs a little more glue, so I'll be back. Let me put some more glue and then I'll be back. Okay, so I put a little more glue and made my medium, my decoupage medium. And then now I'm ready to put this on my cardboard. Now in the other video I showed you that I kind of went around the edges and pre-inked it. This one I don't want to pre-ink the edges. I just want to lay my cardstock down. So now I'm ready to go ahead and take my foot file and go around the edges. And I'm going to go around the edges with my walnut stain and really darken the edges here. Now I'm ready to go ahead and put the binding. For this one I'm going to use 3/4 of an inch binding. And I'm going to actually use I like my bind it all. Not my bind it all, my cinch. I do have a bind it all but then it means that I have to measure too much. With the cinch, it's so easy, you don't need to measure anything. You basically just take and put the level all the way in, like you see here, and then you take your cardstock, and you can take a couple at a time. So I like that too, because I can take like quite a few. Make sure that it's even throughout. Put it against the fence and just clamp down. Then push this all the way out. And then in the instructions here it says for 8. So if 8 inches, you need to pull peg 4. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull peg 4. I'm going to put this ruler all the way out. I'm going to take a little gadget here and I'm going to insert it on the last hole. Which is inserted there. This one here. And then I'm going to make sure everything is nice and even and push down. Bring this up and there I have perfect holes. Don't even have to measure anything. If I would have used my bind-it all, you're gonna have to kind of measure and make sure that all the holes are within the page and none of the holes kind of go out of the page. So I'm gonna push my number 4 in. Make sure everything is nice and even. Push down. Pull it all the way out. Insert this little peg into the last hole. Pull number 4 out. Punch down. The next thing is this one. Hopefully this will fit, and it does fit all the way in. It's kind of real thick. So let's see how it works. So make sure you push it all the way in. Push down. Okay. Put it on the last hole. Insert the peg on the last hole. Pull number 4 out. And push down. There you have it. Pull it out. Oops. And see, it wasn't all the way in. So I did this once before. What I did is I took some packing tape. I put it on the edge here. Okay. Turn the packing tape over. Put it on the edge here. So it'll be okay because I'll just make sure that's the back cover so nobody will see it. And now, let's make sure it's nicely flat. So I make sure it's nice and flat. Let's try this again. And actually now that I have that tape, it's really going all the way to the back. Let's try it again. Now it's perfect, see? So you don't have to redo the whole binding, just put some packing tape and that will help. Just make sure that that's the side that it's gonna hide within your binding. Sometimes what I've done is I put another cardstock on top. I lay another cardstock on top and then I put binding tape also underneath it. And that works well too. Oops, I almost forgot to pull number 4. But even if I did it and I made a mistake, you know the trick with the binding, with the packing tape. It will help you fix it. So now I'm done. Actually, I cannot put this away. The next thing we need to do is use this here. And I'm going to put my binding, and let's see how many do I need. So I'm going to cut it right here. So I'm going to cut this one. Save this because this is great for a mini book. I keep mine, all my little pieces in here, and then I can use those for my mini books. Okay, so now you hang this on the side here like that. This is going to be the back side because that's the one I mess up. Then I'm going to put my pages. Then I'm going to put this on. Okay? And it's going to work pretty well because remember, when I cinch it, this is going to be in the back. So we're going to go flip this over and attach it on the other side. So it's going to be good. Now, it's feed it through. Next thing is with the binder roll, you're going to need to adjust this to 3/4. Then you're going to take this little doodad and you're going to bring it up. You're going to place this, hopefully you can see. You're going to place this right against, see how I'm placing this, the kind of the opening right against the wall of my cinch. You're going to place it in between here. Make sure that this is the end part. Either you can cinch it in the middle and then work your way out, or you can just cinch it right at the end and then push the lever down until it stops. Go on the other side, push the lever down till it stops, and there's your bind. So now I can easily turn it over, and there's my easel. See how easy it is? But I still need to put it together, so what I'm going to do is, before I even attach my my magnet tape, I want to see if I put it too close, it's going to see how it folds down. I don't want that. So I need to kind of make sure that I put my binding that is going to stay up, and it looks that this will do the trick there. And if you look here, see how it's not completely all the way in, there's a little gap in between. So I'm going to take a pencil because I want to make sure I don't go in too deep, and I'm going to mark it. Okay, I want to make sure I mark it. So there, I marked it, and I want it in the inside. So I would take my tape, and let me cut it to size. So I'm going to take my other one, put it together, and cut it to size. Okay, so I removed the tape, the backing of the tape, and I'm going to place it within my lines. Make sure it's well placed. Then I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to adhere it on top, and then start removing that adhesive, or that backing of the adhesive. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this up. Make sure before I really tack it down, Make sure I have it. So there's my easel. So if I want to ship this out, simply put it flat, nice and flat, put it in a regular size envelope. When they receive it in the other side, you can put a little instruction how to do it, but just basically put it together like this. So I hope I gave you some inspiration of another way that you can create your easel calendar for shipping. So make it easier to ship this way because you can put it completely flat. You can still make it this way too if you don't have magnetics tape. It still will work. It's just you're gonna have to kind of make sure that when you pack it, you have to give a little space for the bulkiness. So these are my 2 easels, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye.